Hi, I'm Rose Haller. I'm the head women's basketball coach here at Centenary University. Well, I would say early on when I was first hired, our main goal was to bring in numbers and get people here that wanted to do the same things we wanted to do, people who had the same vision or were bought into the vision. And now, last year we made the playoffs. We win our first playoff game, and now it's a matter of, each year filling the pieces to the puzzle that are going to make us better moving forward. So the recruiting philosophy early on was numbers, and now it's more filling in the pieces to the puzzle. So it has changed over the years as we've come more into our own. Well, I don't know if that's a knack so much as, you just never know. Sometimes I think there's a kid that'll come in and succeed right away, and then it doesn't happen because of their lack of confidence, or the first 2 weeks they get lost. And so I don't really think it's something that I do. I really think it's that that there are a lot of kids that I think can come in and play right away. The ones that seem to be able to handle that are the ones that can make it through the first 2 weeks and not become overwhelmed with all the new stuff that they're learning. So I wouldn't say it's something I'm doing as much as something that they're doing. Well, I think you have to look at Jess McKenzie first. When I called Jess McKenzie, her mom answered, and Jess didn't really have a very good high school experience. In fact, when I went to see her play, she didn't play but 2 minutes. But I saw her in AU, and I really liked her, and I felt she had a lot of potential. But Jess's mom said, she would really need to have the right coach call her, and of course I said that would be me. And Jess has really made an impact in this program in a lot of ways. She's a great kid. She's a really good student. She's one of our best students. She's a leader. She's very involved in the school, and she gets better every year. And she's willing to take the criticisms that I give her, so to speak, in the off season about what's going to happen next season and how to be prepared for that. So she would be the first one to come to mind. I think Taylor Bossert does a lot for us on the court every single night, on both ends of the court. She's kind of like our Energizer bunny. You can count on her to come in shape. Carly Tarnowski is, a great leader and has done a lot to deliver the message of what we want this program to be off the court, and to welcome our new freshmen. And this year I really noticed our new freshmen are kind of like falling into line without us saying a lot, because the upperclassmen are starting to lead by example. Carmen Escano was someone we recruited that didn't play on it. In her high school team, she was the point guard, she was the center, she carried the water bottles. She pretty much did everything, and we put her in a position last year that she was not really keen on playing, and she really excelled and blossomed in that position. And I think she's going to do a lot more this year, moving forward. And then, of course, Vic Jacobs. I think Vic's started off strong last year and then struggled a little bit, but I think Vic comes from a basketball family and will do a lot for this program moving forward. Walking in as the fourth coach in 4 years to that senior Latin team with Mallory George was not an easy task. And the first thing I did was I made sure that Mallory George and I were on the same page, because she is literally one of the best players I've ever coached and one of the best leaders I've ever coached. And I knew if Mallory didn't support me, it was not going to be a good first season. So, Mal, we had a winning season with Mal, and the thing I like about Mal is not only was she the best player on the team, and I think in the league, but she came to work every night. She never came to practice and took a night off. She was also a great leader. She put leadership before, wanting to be friends on the team. And I think moving forward, she'll be one of the most respected people ever to come out of this program, because she was able to do that. And then you have an Amber Reisenwitz, who is too small to play college basketball, too tiny to play college basketball, and is getting the big rebound and taking the offensive foul. And again, Amber really complimented her teammates by doing the things that other people maybe wouldn't want to do, and not being the star, but being the cement to that team in the first season. Well, I think Centenary sells itself in a lot of ways. The number one thing I talk about with prospective student athletes is what experience are you looking for? Because that's the most important thing. We're going to give a certain type of experience. We're not going to give the big school, football game, 3,000 people experience. What we're going to give is the personalized experience where your professors will know your names, your professors will help you network, your professors will care about you if you're not in class, your professors will help you when you need help, and those are the things that I saw my children get, and those are the things that I think our students here get, and I think that's a great selling point. I think that sells itself when you're sitting in a class of 15 with a lot of opportunity to succeed as opposed to a class of 100 where the professor doesn't even know your name. So I think we're selling to a certain group of students because of what we have to offer. I think is specialized, but I think more and more people are looking for that personal education as opposed to just being in the number. Right. Well, I think at the Division III level, you're always looking for that kid that can take you to the next level, and I think a lot of that is athleticism, because you can teach basketball, but you can't teach athleticism, so that's always nice to have. But then there's always, those kids that are just really good basketball players, and I think there's something to be said for that too, the savvy kid that understands the game and understands, plays ahead and the next pass. So I'm not always just looking for one kid. When I start, I usually have 100 names, and then you make 100 phone calls, and that gets cut in half really quickly. So I think, early on you have to look for, you have to bring at least 30 in the door to get 4, but I don't always look for the same thing. And the other thing is, I think they're also looking, and you have to keep that in the back of your head that you're not just shopping for them, they're shopping too. And so one of the things I try to do in our first visit is, which usually turns out to be a 3 to 4 hour visit, is really lay out the program, starting with academics, and then basketball, and then social life, and then adding networking and the personalized education, and the fact that I am a mom and have children this age and understand children this age, or young adults this age, I guess I should say. And so really, when we're recruiting, what we're looking for is people who, after they listen to what I have to say, want to come and be in that situation. So I think our program is very special and unique here in the way that we deal with academics. We have, as you know, Coach Key, who is a retired school teacher, adjunct college professor, and she runs our academic program. And she meets with, it started out as Academic Friday for freshmen, and anyone below a 2.5, and it has grown into Academic Friday for everyone, because everyone wants to be involved in this program. And so she meets now on campus with the on-campus students every Friday for 15 to 20 minutes, and then Zooms with our online students for 15 or 20 minutes. And it's funny, I think every person gets something different out of it. Some of our older students that, we have a couple students that are Dean's List. I mean, Devin Gibbs is a 4.0 student. She certainly doesn't need Academic Friday, but she still comes in. I think Nancy offers some wisdom in other areas of life. So I think it's a great 15 minutes for our student athletes to hear from someone who has vast experience in a lot of areas of the world, and I think it's a real benefit to our students. One of the things she does is she emails every single professor for every single student individually every semester. And we've heard more good things from the professors than bad, a lot more good things about how well our student athletes are doing in class and meeting the expectations. So it has also kind of, if you will say, bridged the gap between academics and athletics for them to see that there is an expectation and we are holding them accountable to that end of the expectation. But I think the most important part of that program is, as a freshman, it takes some time to adjust, and there's someone here to help if you need that help.